Hey, it's your boy Bobby B. I want to talk about a subject that comes to mind, and that is Broly is the sequel to the Freiza Saga. That is correct. Broly is the sequel to the Freiza Saga. Now, why am I saying that Broly's the sequel to the Freiza Saga? Basically, we have not had a story really to put things together in regards to Freiza and, you know, all of the Saiyans. Now, if you sit back and you look at it, the Freiza Saga is my favorite saga. That is the greatest saga of all Dragon Ball to me. I mean, we've seen some great things, but the Freiza Saga, hands down, is great. It is personal to me. One of the reasons why it's great is because of the fact that the Saiyans, and I'm about to go into this territory here, where I personally can relate to them. There was a time when I was growing up and we could like relate to what was going on with the Saiyans and how Frieza was treating them and the things that they went through. And the fact of the matter was that, the Saiyans finally getting their vengeance on Frieza for what he did. The thing is that it never ended. For some reason, for some people it ended, but it didn't. It continued in the form of Metal Frieza. Frieza coming back to get revenge. And then Trunks killed Frieza. And then there's also a situation where we have the Resurrection F arc. Now, for those who may not know, there is a timeline where Goku is the one who shows up and he kills Metal Frieza, but he's also the Goku who died from the heart disease. So that you know, just throwing it out there a little bit. And then there's the Resurrection F, and then after that, of course, the Universal Tournament where they pretty much team up with Frieza, and that's one of the best decisions I thought I saw right there. And now Frieza's coming back with the Broly Saga. Now, how is this a sequel to the Frieza Saga? Because it's a follow-up on Frieza and the Saiyans, Frieza, Goku, and Vegeta and the Saiyans, and where does Broly fit in? It's like he's the missing link in all of this. Now, either Broly is someone who comes from that timeline, somebody Frieza was aware of, and someone that Frieza saw, or either Broly's an ancient Saiyan. So with that being said, now we're talking about things being connected. Now, if we're talking about ancientness, we're talking about Bardock. Now, Bardock was the one Saiyan who stood up to Frieza. Even with his power, he stood up to him and came after him. Bardock is the father of Goku, for those who may not know. And he was the one, pretty much who stood up against Frieza, and he was killed, or we thought he was killed. Now, he went into this, thing called the episode of Bardock. If you've never seen it, please go watch it. The episode of Bardock is pretty much, Frieza didn't kill Bardock. Bardock ended up in the past. And when he was there, he pretty much went Super Saiyan because he saw Chill, who is an ancestor to Frieza. And he went Super Saiyan, beat Chill died, saying, warn them of the Super Saiyan. So with that being said, there's a lot of history there. Now you gotta wonder, and I'm not saying that the episode of Bardock is canon, because as far as we're aware, it's not. But as far as we know, like, Bardock has two specials, and that is, of course, his special, which is like his little mini movie, and then you have the episode of Bardock, which is also like a sequel to that. So with that being said, where does Bardock fit in? Bardock is one of the most popular Dragon Ball characters ever. He's a Saiyan. He's the one who stood with Frieza, and then you got Broly. Broly is here, and you got the situation where Broly is like this follow-up. So it's like they're saying this is a connection between Goku and Vegeta and Frieza and Broly. So if it's like that, then this is a sequel to the Frieza Saga. But where does it all fit in? Now, the movie's going to pretty much tell us what it is, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say how I feel. Basically, when it comes down to it, Broly, there's so many theories out there about him. I want to say he's ancient. Some people say he's actually current. Some people saying, you know, different things about him. Some people say it relates to the past. Either way it go, I think it's going to be good when we finally get the chance to see it. But basically, when it comes down to it, is Frieza aware of Broly? Does he know him? I have no idea. If he does, he's more modern, which means that Frieza was alert to who Broly was. Maybe Broly was somebody that Frieza paid attention to because he had a high power level, or maybe he was someone Frieza was experimenting with as a secret weapon, but then Frieza became afraid of him and probably put him away. Or it could be a similar scenario, because it was the same thing with King Vegeta in the Broly movie. King Vegeta was afraid of the fact that Broly had so much power when he was born that he sentenced him to pretty much die, as well as Broly's father. So it could be a scenario. See, Broly's a unique character because if you look at his original story, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking some pieces from the original story, he's a Saiyan who was feared by King Vegeta, and they wanted him to be killed because of that. So he's like this other side. Well, you got pretty much Freiza being the oppressor and King Vegeta being the servant. In the same scenario with Beerus as well. You got a situation where the Saiyans are being oppressed, but then this is a situation where the Saiyans are within their own situation where King Vegeta was like, no, this dude too powerful. He needs to die. He needs to go away. And that could be there. It could be a situation where this time it was Freiza who did it. So it's obviously a follow-up. I wonder how many things are going to be coming there. There's obviously some stuff going on in the past as well, because they did show some scenes, but it was like brief, where you could see, I think, possibly Broly's father. I think Bardock is even going to end up in this movie. There ain't no way in the world Bardock is not going to be in this movie. So, you know, little bits and pieces we got here and there going on with this being a follow-up to the Freiza saga, but man, I'm looking forward to it. But I just want to say to you all, it's your boy Bobby Beast here. I just want to say much love, much respect. Go right ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell, like this video, and check out my other Dragon Ball content. I just want to say much love, much respect. Hold it down, and one. Hey, it's your boy Bobby Beast here.